Time ago, I was involved in one international training for ministers, and being one of the organizers, I had so much in my hands to do in that training. Happily, I had somebody that was assisting me, but this person was brought to me by one big minister too who came for that training. He brought the lady to me and said, "This is my second daughter. She has heard so much about you. She has been watching your programs, reading your work, and been listening to you, and it's been disturbing me to please allow her to come to be around me." I was like, "Oh, great, I'm fine." So, knowing that I'll be in that training, she decided to follow. And in following, that was it, we met. So, I was happy. The lady was so excited, working with me, assisting me, and she was doing so much for me in that training that what I was doing became a lot easier. I was happy. I felt like, oh, I'd got a young friend. Yes, I could coach. Then one of those days after the training, my husband and I were driving through the house of that big minister. We stopped by to say hello. As we knocked, small children ran out to greet us. We looked again. That was the man's house. We looked around. We saw his picture. So we said, "Where is your daddy?" They said the daddy went out. Oh, we just came to greet your daddy. Your mommy, the mommy traveled. Wow. So we said, okay, how about we mention the name of that lady he brought to me and said the lady was as his second daughter. I mentioned the lady. So where is so person? The children were looking at me. I mean, your big sister were looking at me, who I mentioned the name I described. He said, "We don't know the person. She's not, see us here. My brother is sleeping inside." So it means that the big minister had 3 children, 2 girls, 1 boy. The boy was sleeping inside. So where is that one called the second daughter? And as you can see, the children of that man didn't even know the person. I pinched myself. My husband looked at me. We were speechless. We got home. I started thinking about it. Looking at the two sets of human beings, I expected that the younger ones to that lady, introduced to me as his second daughter, were supposed to be at least teenagers, because the lady should be in her late 20s, mid or late 20s, if not in her 30s. So I expected to have grown children around as the ones following her, but the gap was much. I want to talk to my fellow ministers. Sometimes we think we are smart, but the truth is that we can't be that smart to the point that we'll be able to cover all the holes and openings. Sometimes we carelessly leave some ends uncovered when we are struggling to cover other ends. I didn't bother asking more questions, but of course you know that I learned my lesson. So whenever you're coming to me with anybody, trying to introduce the person to me, as you're talking, what's going on in my mind will now be that scenario, because it's becoming difficult these days to even believe what we say and what we are said to. A minister of God should present Christ to people, not only in words, not only in behaviors, but in the records people around us keep about us. My name is Precious Caleb. That's all you need to know.